Issues from the Nigerian elections rage on for months since the electoral body INEC announced winners.
Tinubu Bola of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
The Election Petition and Issues Tribunal, headed by members of the nation's judiciary, has also given their verdict. Now, let us find out what the international society thinks about the contentious presidential part of the elections. We'll start with the European Union. Through the Election Observation Mission, they released a report that read out their position.
INEC introduced some very positive measures early in the electoral process. For example, it increased the number of polling units and established a system of electronic accreditation of party agents, media and observers. Public confidence, however, in INEC was severely damaged on the 25th of February due to its operational failures and lack of transparency. While some corrective measures introduced before the 18th of March elections seem to have a positive impact, overall trust was not restored and eventually led civil society to call for an independent audit of the entire process.
The BBC had a report that zeroed in on Rivers State.
While the official result in this state gave a clear majority to Bola Tinubu of the ruling All Progressives Congress, our tally suggested that Peter Obi of the Labour Party had received the most votes in the state by a wide margin.
International Observer Group, the International Republican Institute, IRI, and National Democratic Institute, NDI, had this to say about INEC's performance. Al Jazeera, however, were more positive than most media.
Observers said polls were mostly peaceful, though delays caused some voters to wait until the following day to cast their ballots.
CNN did not fail to capture the fact that record numbers of young Nigerians turned out in faith for these elections, and when they sensed disenfranchisement approaching, registered their angst.
I must fight for my daughter, praise. I must fight for her. She must have a better life. She must go to better school. I'm tired. I'm tired. We are tired. Me, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing this crap.
The correspondent Larry Mado had this on his YouTube channel.
Officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission say they're already tallying the results of the area without the missing polling units.
You know, we use constitution. Anywhere there is violence, there's no way to vote again.
But CNN saw no signs of violence at the polling units where election workers did not show up as people cast ballots just steps away.
So there will be no other election in these places where the election didn't take place?
No, there's no other election again. There's no other election. The election we want to do is what we've done.
The disenfranchised voters see this as an attempt to deny their preferred candidates crucial votes by the establishment. In an election without an incumbent president or a former military leader running, it was seen as a fresh start for Nigeria.
We are suffering in this country. We are suffering. It's very bad. I don't even call them leaders. I call them rulers.
Nigeria's agitated youth could be a powder keg at risk of exploding if enough of them feel that their voices were not heard in the most significant election of their lifetime.
What did voting mean to you?
It's my choice and I did my best. That's what it means to me.
Nigerians are tired of this crap. That's what that young man said. And what is the crap he's referring to? That there's so much dysfunction in this country, so many systemic failures, that one common prayer in Nigeria is, may Nigeria not happen to you. Because they understand that if Nigeria happens to you, even money cannot insulate you from it. And that's why so many young people came out to vote, excited by the prospect of changing their country in an election where for the first time, there was no former military leader running and there was no incumbent running. It was a fresh start for the country. And yet, you see this situation where so many voters feel disenfranchised, and they're accusing the Electoral Commission of colluding with the government to deny them, to suppress their vote, and essentially vote for, allow people who they didn't choose to rule them. And that's a recipe for disaster, because we've seen this once before during the End SARS movement, Isa, when Nigerian young people got out of the streets and said enough is enough.